Welcome to Real Estate Investing for Life. I'm Jonna Weber. Let's get started. Today, I am talking about what I would tell myself and what I would focus on first if I were starting over in today's market as an investor. And let me tell you how this came about. Last night, we had our real estate investing meeting for the Idaho Real Estate Investor Network. And it really wasn't a meeting. It was a fun social gathering. We called it Let's Talk About Real Estate. And we had tacos on Taco Tuesday. And it's just a great time where we came together and connected. And what's really cool about these rooms is we've got a mix. So we've got people that might have hundreds of doors of real estate investments, or they may have just millions of dollars of net worth of real estate assets or funds. And then we could have someone, and we did have people in the room last night that are just dipping their toes in. And some of them are successful in other parts of their lives. One was in wealth management. One was in property management. We have agents. We have successful business owners. There was a successful HVAC professional in the room last night. All kinds of business owners, really. And one thing that's cool is that we're all learning from each other. So I was talking with some people last night that were very green and new to real estate investing, although successful in other areas of their lives. And they were asking me some questions, and it prompted me to think about what I wanted to talk about today, which is what I would focus on first if I were starting over in today's real estate market. Many of you know my story, and when I started, it was a very different real estate market than it is today, and our focus was specifically in buy and hold properties. So it might be a little bit different today, but what I really want to focus on and what actions I would take that might be different and what I would tell myself to do first now that hindsight's 2020, okay? So the first one is that I would really dig in and seek to get an understanding of what my goals are, why I'm investing in real estate or want to invest in real estate in the first place, and what my risk tolerance is, because it varies so much from individual to individual. When I was getting started, we were a single income family, and we wanted to create something so that we had a backup plan if something were to go south. And that means we needed additional cash flow and streams of revenue, and wanted to know that we would have other assets placed appropriately that we could possibly even sell off if we needed to, because we had done the work ahead of time to get those pieces of real estate. So that was very specific, and it wasn't until I knew that we actually started really taking action. But sometimes I see the opposite occur, and people come to me after they've already taken a lot of action or maybe invested in high-ticket courses and also real estate investments that really are not in alignment with what their goals are. So it's really important to know that, take a step back and figure out what your goals are. And that's what I love to do, by the way. If somebody is listening and really wants to dive into that, I do have a strategy session that I have available that we could just talk through all of that, because it is really, really important. And I'd say that's the first thing that I would tell my younger self is get clear on that. And looking back, I could have been a lot more clear at the beginning. Number two, what I would focus on first is building relationships before I need them. And you may think, why do I need relationships? I don't want to go into partnership with anybody. That's fine. If you do want to go to partnership, you may be able to get a lot further faster, but that's beside the point. I didn't build it with partnerships. What I'm talking about is, one, figuring out key resources and people to trust when you need somebody. And that could be a lender, it could be a property manager, and it could be someone that you need once you've gotten that rental property and you need to fix that furnace at 2 a.m. in the morning. Not really. There usually isn't an emergency that big a deal. But when you need to fix something that's important in a rental property, or maybe you've purchased something that needs work and you need to find quality flooring contractors and painters and plumbers and all that good stuff so that you know who to trust. There's also power in developing those relationships, even if you're not going to go into partnership with them, is you can develop some friendships and accountability, which is huge. When we were really serious about our journey, I became part of a mastermind with a group of women, And we met together every 2 weeks for several years, and we were all peers in our way. There wasn't like one specific coach coaching us up. But part of what was powerful about that is we kept each other accountable, and they would check back to make sure that I did what I said I was going to do to move the ball forward. And that's a big thing. That piece of just saying it aloud and getting feedback from somebody else is really, really important. So I'd build those relationships. Number 3, I think that I would really focus on is learning the market. And learning the market could mean a number of different things because it really comes down to what kind of niche and strategy you have decided is right for you. Again, you're going to have that figured out because you're going to get really clear on your goals and your focus and your risk tolerance and what's going to be right for you. That's where I can come in and help you figure out what's right for you there. But you want to know what that is and then learn the market. So let's say you're going to buy a rental property and you're going to buy it locally, which is always a great advantage. I'm here in Idaho. So if I was here in southwestern Idaho in the Treasure Valley, we call it, I would be working very diligently to get to know the markets because I know for a rental property, I'm going to want to find places that are in the path of progress, that are trending up, not down, that are highly desirable for tenants for where they want to live. I'm looking for good schools. I'm looking for rentability. If I'm going to invest in a syndication or something or a fund where it's highly dependent on the demographics, I'm going to get to know that market. So let's say you find out about a fund that's really sounds cool, but it's a large multifamily. So some things that I would be looking for to get to know the market as I'd be looking to see how many more multifamilies are coming online in the next 12 to 24 months. Let's just say it's something that's coming under construction that you're investing in. You want to know what that competition is. You want to know what rents are doing. Are they trending up? Are they trending down? Is there a possibility for compression or shrinking down in the future? And if so, what's your worst case scenario? What's the employment area look like? What's the forecast for the employment? Here in Idaho, we've got some major trends going on. We've got major companies growing, such as Micron Technologies, and hiring in thousands of people. I'm going to pay attention to that. And how far is that apartment complex from Micron, for example? Totally I don't have an opportunity near Micron right now, but that's just an example of the things that I'm talking about when I talk about get to know your market. You're also going to want to know your real estate market. So I would get on as many lists for lenders and realtors as I can find. Some of them are really good and people spend a lot of time crunching those numbers so you don't have to know what areas of town are what prices and what the days on market is and all of that good stuff. So I would really get to know the market. And then number 4, I would focus on small bursts of energy to get some progress made. What I wouldn't focus on is making myself miserable for years because I've seen the scenario and it's an unfortunate thing. And transparently, I've been there a little bit. When you're so focused on trying to figure out a solution to a problem or figuring out your next steps that you kind of make yourself miserable because you feel like you're working all the time on learning real estate investing, but you're not. You're just thinking about it and worrying about it because maybe you're not focused on learning the right things. And what I have found, and I hope this is encouraging, what I have found through 2 decades of real estate investing is, and even with business building, most of my success has come from short bursts of momentum. So it's not grinding for 20 years to build a portfolio. It's small bursts where I've been hyper focused on getting stuff done. And that might look like 1 year, I think we purchased multiple properties and refinanced almost all of our properties to take advantage of killer interest rates. And it was a lot. I am not a paperwork girl, but we were drowning in paperwork, trying to put all that together. And it was about 3 to 6 months that we were doing all that. But you know what? That 3-month, we'll call it 3-month period, saved us millions down the line when it came to the difference in interest rates. So we took advantage of a window, took advantage of a market, and jumped. But we don't do that every year. And I look back and I can pick out 3 or 4 periods in our investing trajectory, we really got focused. Other than that, we were just consistent and watching what the market's doing, putting processes and systems in place to get better and more profitable with what our holdings were and what we were doing. And we kept in relationship with other investors so we can keep our pulse on the market and make sure that we had great resources at the ready. So it's pretty simple. So just to recap, the first thing that I would focus on is figuring out our goals and strategies and risk tolerance, know what we're going to even learn how to invest in, whether it's a rental property, whether it's investing in a fund and being completely passive, whether it's short-term rentals, long-term rentals, commercial, all the things, which is a whole nother conversation. But once you zero in on the thing that matches your goals the best, you're going to be so much freer and not feel the overwhelm of having to learn everything. You need to learn the ecosystem of all the different types of real estate investing, but it's quicker than you think that you can zero in on something that might work best for you at this point in your life. It's not to say it can't change. It's just that works best for you right now in this season with your kids, with your career, whatever it looks like. Okay, so we're going to help you drill that down. Second, we're going to create those relationships before we need them. Third, we are going to get to know the market. So important. I can't emphasize that enough. And fourth, we're going to just tell ourselves that it doesn't all have to be done in a day. We're going to buckle down. We're going to get clear on one type of investing, and we're going to drill down on it for 3 to 6 months, most likely, and really make some progress before we even start to look at something else or before we start to give up. That's important too. Hope you found that helpful. I am going to be talking a lot more about this. If you are at that first point, if you're looking like, gosh, I've got to get clear on my goals and my strategies, I really want to talk this through with something, I do offer a strategy session. We call it the Real Estate Wealth Strategy Session, where we can really do some homework, get all that in place, and I can walk you through some options that might be your best first steps. I'll put that information in the show notes. If you got value out of this, please go back and listen to some past episodes. I know we cover a lot of questions that you might have in your mind right now about this subject. I look forward to connecting with you further. Have a great day, go and grow, and we'll catch you on the next episode. If today's episode brought you clarity or encouragement, would you please follow the show, leave a quick review, or even better, share it with a friend who's ready to start building their future. And if you're serious about creating lasting wealth and freedom, let's connect. You can find me at jonnaweber.com. I can't wait to help you take your next step toward the life you deserve. Go and grow, and we'll see you on the next episode.